Hi, welcome to Made to Heal with Angela Brown. So, I wanted to talk about mindfulness, and today's topic is hearing. And hearing is something that we do all the time. Our senses are so important. I used to teach a class to younger kids, and we would focus on the five senses. I didn't include intuition and imagination. That just comes naturally to kids, easier. But I focus on the five senses, and today I'll talk about hearing and what I did for these classes because with our hearing, if you, that's the number one sense. So I'd take them outside to do an activity and I would have them just stand there and listen to whatever was going on outside for 2 minutes with their eyes opened, but quiet, right? Not talking, but with their eyes opened. And then we would do the exercise again, but this time I would tell them, okay, close your eyes for 2 minutes without saying anything. And I want you to listen. And I want to see if you hear anything new or if it was a different experience. And always the hearing, when your eyes are closed, your hearing is so much more in tune because our brain is focusing on the one thing rather than seeing and hearing at the same time. Because when we're seeing, we're taking in a lot of different information that distracts us. And so really hearing with our eyes closed is an awesome experience. I highly recommend if you find yourself in nature to listen to the sounds that surround you and do it with your eyes closed. Also, hearing is one of those things that we can do to heighten our awareness of things around us, paying attention to your favorite sounds. What are your favorite sounds? I used to have one of my kids, as I would drive over gravel, they were like, oh, I really like the sound of it. Or I don't know about you if you're like me, but just the sound of fingernails going down a chalkboard, it drives me through the roof. So there's sounds that we just can't take, or there's sounds that we just absolutely love. And so mindful hearing is just really paying attention to those sounds that we love to hear. And one of the best sounds that I love to hear, I was even talking to my husband one day. We were talking and we're like, what is the best sound ever that's out there? And we both concluded that it's the laughter of little children. You cannot have a better sound out there than just happy children. So, speaking of happiness, God wants us happy. He loves it when we choose happiness. Think of it, you being a parent. Do you want to see your kids miserable and unhappy? Absolutely not. So God intends for us to be happy, and it's a choice that we make. And through mindfulness, since I'm focusing on hearing, what kinds of sounds do you love to hear? Maybe you have a favorite music. Maybe you have a favorite music genre, or maybe you have favorite sounds that you hear in nature. There's so many things that we can focus on. And there's always noise pollution, right? I don't live in a big city, but if you live in a big city, you're going to have constant noise pollution. You can't get rid of all of sound, right? If you put yourself in a room with, if you just have the light on, you're going to find some sort of sound. If you're quiet, close your eyes, your ears are going to hone in to sound, whether it's a ticking of a clock, whether it's just air moving through. There's never complete silence, right? Unless you have, I don't know what they call it, but when you have your ears covered and you do not hear any sound whatsoever without. But when we can get to a point where we just in our meditation, closing our eyes and focusing on sound. What's really cool is I would teach the kids in this mindfulness class, when it came to hearing, I would teach them about being outside and the different patterns that you hear. You could hear like the wind pick up and then it go down, like just the different patterns that God is amazing. There's different patterns that are going on all the time, and you hear it in the blowing of the wind, or if you have a wind chime hanging outside and you're listening to it and just focusing on that and closing your eyes, there's patterns to it because of the wind and different things. And so it's just what an amazing sense. Not all of us are blessed to have a sense of hearing. And it's just one of those senses that if you're born blind, I believe people, and I'm not speaking from experience because I wasn't born blind, but I I would think that people that are born blind, their sense of hearing is even more heightened because they are able to focus on that more clearly. So I'm just as a challenge, put down in the comments below, put down what your favorite sounds are. Think back to your childhood. What were some of your favorite sounds as a child? What are some of your favorite sounds now? Put it in the comments. I want to hear. So, I really love the sound of drums. Like I've always been fascinated with the sounds of drums playing. I've always been fascinated with the sound of flute. I've always been fascinated with just chimes and stuff, just nature sounds. I love, love, love the sound of water. Whether it's dripping from a faucet, that's not my most favorite, but like just water coming down from a waterfall into a fountain. I have always loved the sound of running water because it's just so calming to me, very, very calming. And so whatever it is, whatever those sounds are, invite more of that into your life. Be mindful of what that is and invite more of it into your life. And also it's important to try to be sound free. Get yourself away from the sound. It's important to be able to unplug and just meditate with your eyes closed and be able to focus on maybe clearing your thoughts, rewiring your brain so that you can have a better thought process, a better thought pattern, so that your heart and your mind can work together and having a better outlook on life generally. So that's my challenge to you, is find out your favorite sounds and experiment. You know, there's just so many things that we can do with sound, and it's just a gift. Like I said, not everybody gets that gift of hearing, and so it's just one of those things to have gratitude every day for the things that you do get to hear. Sometimes we don't like hearing, whether there's words or phrases that will set you off. Sometimes we don't like hearing some things, but we can also look at those situations in gratitude no matter what, and learn how to process through things. Just being in a healthier mindset than I was several years ago, I look at things a little different. And so it's important to be open and love and respect others around you for what they choose, and maybe you don't like sounds that are coming from people's mouths, or their type of music or whatever, but it's okay to be open and to come from a place of love and understanding, because isn't it wonderful that we're not all alike? Isn't that just so amazing that not everybody is like us? I always think what a boring world that would be if everybody was just like me and had the same tastes and everything like that. Like I think this world is so beautiful with all the variety of personalities. So I just encourage you to focus on your listening skills and see where you can improve. And hearing, oh my gosh, speaking of listening skills, that is a big thing to do with communication. And we as adults have a hard time communicating with one another. They say, I've read in a book, and again, I can't remember what book, but they said 85% of the population has a really hard time communicating effectively. And you know what? I'm going to raise my hand because I have a hard time communicating effectively. Put a 2 in the comments if that's you too. Can you agree? Can you agree that communicating is a little hard and tricky sometimes? And the biggest thing with communication is a lot of people are willing to do more talking than actually listen. And I like to be reminded, I love the little reminder, God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. So we should talk We should listen twice as much as we do talking, because that's an important key factor in communicating with our loved ones. So just something to think about, like, how can we be better listeners? How can we be better communicators? And it's all about listening, asking people around us questions, and actually being genuine and care and listen to their response. That is so important to build healthy relationships. And that is something that I will continually be working on. So I want you to go ahead and like and subscribe. Also, hit the bell, click on the notifications for my daily videos. I also want to invite Christian women to join my 12-week online course. It's amazing. It's all online, so wherever you find yourself in the world, it's for anyone any Christian woman that's wanting to heal spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and physically. I suffered from depression and suicidal thoughts and all sorts of a bad mindset, and I dealt with perfectionism really bad, and I just wasn't in a healthy mindset. Well, since 9 years, I haven't dealt with depression, and I haven't had a suicidal thought. I didn't turn to drugs. I turned to God, and I took holistic healing approaches that were all done naturally. And God he knew what I wanted. He knew that I didn't want to go the chemical route, and he knew that I wanted to, keep my body as clean as possible. And so he showed me ways of how to do it. And it was with his help, I was able to learn so many skills, so many things that helped me have a better connection with him, a better connection with myself and with others around me. When you love yourself, it is so much easier. In fact, you can't love others outside yourself if you don't have love for yourself. And if you don't even love yourself, you can't have that pure, genuine love for God. And so it's important to learn that. And that's something that I didn't have for the longest time, because I dealt with a lot of childhood trauma that I didn't know how to get over. And through the tools that I have learned, I've been able to process through all these unwanted emotions and problems, and all these things that I just held on to, a lot of anger and grudges and resentment, and and I didn't know how to process through things. Well, since all the tools, and I put them into practice, and these are everything that I teach in the 12-week online course, and it comes with a weekly hour to an hour and a half Zoom class, and then a one-on-one 15-minute each week of just one-on-one with you and I, going over your targeted areas to where I can help you better be successful in achieving your goals. And these are just things that have literally saved my life. It literally made all the difference in the world, in my relationships and how I view myself and my connection with God. It's so important that we women feel our worth and that we can step into our power. God wants us to be confident in the direction we are going in. He wants us to love our physical bodies, no matter what condition or shape they are in, whether it's choices of our own or outside ourselves. It is so important to have the self-love for ourselves. And just when we develop qualities such as mindfulness, it helps us to have that stronger connection. And when we are working on our listening skills, when we are working on honing into listening, God within talks to us all the time. And when we are practicing that, we are able to better learn from him and hear of the teachings that he has to teach with us, because he's talking to us all the time. And if you constantly have music going, or the TV going, or, friends chatting in your ear, or turning to social media for every moment of entertainment, you're not going to hear God within. That is why it's so important to allow yourself some peace, some getting out of the noise pollution that's going on around you. It's so important to have peace and be still and have that connection between you and God, to where your heart and God's heart can connect and come together. And it's a beautiful experience. So I just, again, click like and subscribe, and also click on that bell for notifications. I do a daily video. So, and also in the comments below, I will have a link for that 12-week online Christian course. Invite the special women in your life to take a journey and heal from childhood trauma or anything that you feel like you need healing from. And this is a great direction to go. And your healing progress or your healing journey is never done, but it's just steps and tools that and techniques that will help you move forward and heal spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and physically. So again, like and subscribe and share it with others. God bless. And I will see you next time. And tomorrow I will talk about seeing, the gift of the sense of seeing. So we'll talk to you later. Bye.